It was 1963, on a cold Halloween night. 6-year-old Michael Myers brutally murders his 17-year-old sister Judith. He was sentenced and locked away for 15 years. But on October 30th, 1978, while being transferred for a court date, the 21-year-old Michael Myers steals a car and escapes Smith's Grove. He returns to his quiet hometown of Haddonfield, Illinois, where he looks for his next victims. I'm doing a movie review of the 1978 classic Halloween, the one that started it all. I know I reviewed this before. I took the video down because I had an idea. There was an idea, like Samuel L. Jackson says. I had an idea to do reviews different, and I wanted to try something, so I'm still going to be reviewing all the Halloween films. I apologize for taking down that video, though. It's just not really the way I wanted to do it. But yeah, I am starting with Halloween 1978, which was scored and directed by John Carpenter. Stars Jamie Lee Curtis, Donald Pleasence, B.J. Souls. Awesome film. It's definitely my favorite out of the series of Halloween. This and Halloween 2, of course. But this pretty much changed the way that slashers would end up being in like the 80s. It paved the way. I mean, you know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre came out before this, but that was a completely different movie. Psycho, 1960. You know, you could say that that invented the slasher genre. But I think Halloween took it in a different direction. It had all the horror cliches, like, you know, the bad guy gets spotted, he's in the distance, and then he disappears. And he ends up somewhere else, like behind you. You know, there's a lot of cliches that are in the later horror films that come out after this movie. Had a $300,000 budget, and it made $70 million at the box office, and became a cult following. Has one of the most recognizable soundtracks ever, with the Halloween theme, which was, like I said, was scored by John Carpenter. And if you hear that theme, you automatically know that is Halloween. Just like the Jaws theme, like the Rocky theme, you know, there's all these very, very recognizable soundtracks out there. And this is definitely one that stands out. Really cool cast in this movie. Jamie Lee Curtis in her film debut. She was very young. And she basically gets terrorized throughout the movie by Michael Myers, her and her friends. Very simple plot. Very simple. A lot of great cinematography, a lot of great shots with Michael in the distance looking up at her in the window. You know, walking across the street in the distance, hiding behind this big bush and then disappearing. Just a really, really creative kind of shots. And when it comes to Michael Myers, he's just a normal guy with a white mask, which was created by Tommy Lee Wallace. And he created it from a Captain Kirk mask for $1.98. He basically widened the holes and he made it like just a pale white face. And John Carpenter explained that it was like a faceless mask. And they ended up calling it The Shape. And that's really cool to know that, you know, William Shatner's face is Michael Myers' face. It's cool how they made that work. It took 10 days to write the script. Dr. Loomis, who was played by Donald Pleasence, wasn't the first choice. They actually wanted Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. Nick Castle, who plays Michael Myers, went on to direct films like The Last Starfighter, Dennis the Menace, 1993, Major Payne, 1995. And from what I understand, he is coming back to play Myers in the 2018 film. And he's coming back to play as, I guess, a cameo or just a few scenes. Which I prefer him to play the entire movie, but that's just me. This movie is kind of creepy in some points. And the fact that Michael is just a normal person, he just stands there and stares at you. He takes his time when he's not running after you, he walks after you, which is, you know, cool. It makes him like a creepy villain. It really does. Very, very different from the other villains in the horror genre. A lot of people would consider this their favorite horror film of all time. Mine is Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. But this one is definitely one of my favorites for sure. But the whole thing about Michael Myers being human is kind of questionable, because at the end of this film, Dr. Loomis shoots him 6 times. Okay? Shoots him 6 times, he falls off the balcony and he lands on the grass. He's there 1 minute, then when Loomis looks next, he's not there. So he's alive. And of course he returns in Halloween 2, which happens moments after the first movie. So, was Michael Myers wearing a bulletproof vest? Or, you know, what happened? I mean, he obviously is injured. But when it comes to Halloween 2, he walks around like nothing ever happened. I'm wondering if they're going to explain that in the newest movie, the 2018. You know, was he severely injured? Shooting someone 6 times, you just don't get up. That was a questionable thing when it comes to these movies, and that's another cliche. Okay, that's another horror cliche that when somebody gets shot or gets stabbed or whatever in a horror film, they usually end up being fine, walking around like nothing happened. And this is definitely one of those films, but that doesn't take away from the fact that it's just it was so well done, this movie. If I had to rate this movie, I would give it a 9.5 out of 10 for sure. Really highly rated when it comes to horror films. So, hope you guys enjoyed this review of Halloween 1978. Like I said, I'm going to be reviewing every single Halloween up to the new one that's coming out. So my next review will be Halloween 2. And hope you guys stick with me, subscribe for more content. Thank you very much for watching. For all the comments, I really do appreciate it. This is Rob signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next one.